Hey guys, iHackersPro here. So recently there's been a lot of news about bending in the iPhone 6 Plus. What I have here is the iPhone 5S White Edition. But in this video, I just really wanted to go over all the design flaws made by Apple on all of their previous iPhone models and one iPod. So this hasn't been the first design flaw made by Apple. It's actually started off since the iPhone 3GS. There will be a flaw. Every single phone has a design flaw in some way, but starting for the iPhone 3GS, this phone was actually a really good start for Apple. Had a plastic back. Now, a majority of the plastic back was actually pretty good, except for down here. You'll notice there's usually a crack down here. And now that is a crack there because that is actually where the charger port is. So if you put pressure on something, there's something underneath it, it's not going to budge. So you put pressure on the middle, nothing happens. But you put pressure on something where there is a hole, it's gonna bend. It's like a bridge. That's why they have to add continuous amounts of supports on the bridge, because it needs to spread the pressure out. And you're pressing in the middle, it's spreading the pressure outwards and around the sides, as you can see there. That's why it's a really good phone. Except for down here where there's a hole where they need to charge a phone. Now that was a major mistake by Apple. It isn't the biggest mistake because you don't really notice it until now. It has no effect on the charging whatsoever. It just cracks down here. It's like a hairline crack, so it doesn't really matter. The one on this model is actually pretty long. It goes straight down there to about where the writing is for the iPhone and stuff like that. But this is the iPhone 3GS. Moving on from that, they went to iPhone 4 and 4S. Now these models were the exact same. I have pretty banged up iPhone 4S here. It doesn't actually work because there isn't a battery in it, as you can see there. But the main reason was main flaw in this design. It does look very good. The good thing is that it looks nice. It looks neat. It's got a metal bezel going around the phone, but they have glass panels on the back and front. And as you can see there, on the plastic, you can drop it. It's fine. It's not going to budge, but drop it on glass and it's guaranteed to break. The back is guaranteed to break. But good thing about Apple is that they thought of this and they thought of an easy way to fix it, so that when you want to take apart the phone, you just slide up the back just like that. Now on the iPhone 3GS and iPhone 5 and 5S, you actually have to come from the front and pull it off. So if you crack the back or dent it, you have to take apart the whole phone just to fix it. But on here, they thought of that and they just said, hey, let's just make it easier to get from the back. And there you go, that's where the battery is housed and stuff like that. But yeah, that is wasn't really a major design flaw, but it was pretty major. And also there was a bug in one of the software updates for when the iPhone 4 and 4S came out, and that did make sure that when you actually put the phone up to your head to call someone, it actually lost signal. Now it was just a software bug. It was fixed by Apple, but that was pretty much the first software bug for Apple. Now around this time they did release the iPod Touch 4G. Now I don't have one of those with me, but the back of it was made from metal. Now the bad thing about that type of metal they made it from was silver. And now it did get scratched very, very easily. That was one of the worst design flaws made by Apple. I've seen my mates have iPod Touch 4Gs and they just look terrible. The back is just completely scratched and you can't actually get rid of it. Except the good thing is it's only an iPod Touch, it's not worth that much, and you just put a case over it. But the thing about Apple is that they have such a high reputation in their design, and people don't really want to wreck that design and put case on it. The iPhone 5S doesn't weigh that much. The iPhone 4S weighs a lot more without a battery in it. Now that may be hard to believe, but it actually is true. Now from the iPhone 4 and 4S, they moved on to an aluminium back with glass inserts up the top and the bottom. Now they actually crack when they are when pressure is put on them. Say bang it on your desk like that, they will crack, but the back here is actually made of aluminium. Now the bad thing about aluminium is that it dents, so if you drop it on here, it will dent. But with the iPhone 5, this was probably where most of the design flaws did happen, and software and hardware issues. So one of the hardware issues was the lock button. You probably heard of it by now. Lots of iPhone 5s were getting affected and their lock buttons were not working, coming out of place, falling out and stuff like that. And also the battery. Apple are now offering free fixes and stuff like that for the battery, because there was a software issue which did drain the battery a lot, and effectively the battery became unusable and only survived a couple of hours to the max. And that was probably one of the worst design flaws by Apple. Then they went up to the iPhone 5S. They put the Touch ID. Now, Touch ID is probably the best fingerprint scanner you can get on a smartphone at the moment. That's just probably because it's Apple and they took a lot of time and put sapphire glass there, so it reads the fingerprint a lot clearer than just plastic and stuff like that. But there wasn't actually very much design flaws on the iPhone 5S. It looks exactly like the iPhone 5, except they did improve it. They made it lighter, faster, stronger. Except the aluminium frame and the glass inserts up the top, they break very easily. So they went up to the iPhone 6. Now, this is probably where they made the worst mistake. They thought of the 6, it's fine, it's not big, it's not large, it's just a bit bigger than, it's 0.7 inches bigger than the iPhone 5S, sorry. And with this, they thought, hey, this is fine, it's the right size, everything's fitting perfectly, and there is no design flaws with that. And then they went, hey, let's make a bigger one. They went on and made a 5.5 inch model. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, it's completely fine. Samsung have done it. Lots of phone companies have done it, but with the iPhone 6 Plus, on that phone, they made it long. They stretched it. Now, the bad thing about stretching it is fine as long as you have support underneath and around the phone. So that when you do drop it, pressure spreads. You drop it on plastic, you realize that you barely crack the plastic unless it was down here, because the pressure spreads. But with the 6, there's no pressure. It's like a piece of paper. You can keep on folding it until eventually you won't be able to fold it anymore, because it's just not going to let you, because it's taking all the pressure from that fold and spreading it around the other pieces of paper. That is essentially what happens to the 6 Plus. You're trying to bend it. You're pressing in, and it's obviously going to bend because it's just stretching it. This is a thin sheet of aluminium which isn't that good, and it hasn't got any aluminium or metal bezels going into the phone to support when it does drop and stuff like that. But that was actually a major design flaw by Apple, and to be honest, I reckon the design looks complete. It doesn't look very good. I'd prefer just a bigger phone, and while they put a protruding camera as well, that's just, I don't know why they did that. I would reckon Apple and iPhone users would prefer the phone to be a little bit larger, just to get rid of that protruding camera and to put extra support in for the aluminium backing. But yeah. Comment below any problems you've had with your iPhone. Spread the word. Hope Apple can fix this. Also, if you did manage to bend your phone, Apple are offering replacements, but they are going to check that it's legitimately bent, not just to bend it on YouTube and get a brand new phone out of that. That's not going to work, guys. So they're going to check that the phone is legitimately bent and damaged. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Please like, comment, subscribe. Peace. Now, also, I'm very sorry that I haven't been uploading in a while, but be sure I will be uploading lately a lot more since it is holidays now. So yeah, peace.